Wow, how we doing, guys? On here a little bit late today. Welcome to Wasted Lunch. I'm Paul McVeigh. What's happening? Oh, man. Gonna have a rough time doing the show right now. You know why? I lost my vapor. I don't know where the heck it is. Lost that, and I don't have smokes. Now, you guys know I have to have one or the other. What's up, Sean? How we doing, buddy? I was just saying, I don't know. I'm beside myself right now. Oh my gosh, beside myself. Just, don't know where my vapor is. Don't have any smokes right now. Okay, Sean says, how's the car? Okay, got some good news on the car. Yes, update. Me and Carl worked on the car, got the starter on, finally got the starter on, and it works. It works. Now the van starts up, which is good. You know, that's great news. It's great that the starter works, and the car starts up just like that. So, beautiful thing. Got really excited. I'm like, yeah, right on, awesome. Then I remembered something that happened right before we started working on the car. Before we started working, on the van. I'll call it the van because, you know, I've had two vehicles to work on. Now, when we were getting the van ready to work on it, you know, blocking up the tires and stuff like that, I went and tried to put on the emergency brake in the van, all right? And it's one of the emergency brakes with a pedal. So I put my foot on the pedal, pushed down on the pedal, and all of a sudden, there was a popping sound, and the pedal went straight to the floor very easily. What happened was the emergency brake cable broke, okay? So, it broke while activating the emergency brakes. All right, so I had forgot about all this what's up, Jimmy? What's happening? We got the van running. The van is now starting. But as I was explaining to Sean, that the problem is when we were setting up the car to work on it, I pushed down the emergency brake pedal and there was snapping sound, popping sound, and here I activated the emergency brakes and the cable broke. So now the emergency brakes are on. Now, yeah, so it's good because the starter's on there and the van is starting now. It's bad because now the brakes are activated on it, the emergency brakes. So I talked to my father-in-law, and he told me that I could go underneath the van, get some vice grips, and clamp those on the cables, okay, that activate the emergency brake line, the lines that go into and into the wheels on the brakes. He said, attach a vice grip, squeeze them on there, and then clobber the vice grips with a hammer, and that will deactivate the emergency brakes. Now, so I got to do that. I got to do that to the van. So it's like, you know, one step forward, one step back. Got that going on. I don't want to gripe about it, you know, but it felt so great when we got that starter on and I turned that key over and vroom, you know, the van started up. I was so happy about it. And then I went to move the van and heard that grating sound, that, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about those emergency brakes. So it's been tough catching a break lately. Only, you know, like, I don't know, I just said it, I think, to my wife. I said the only breaks we seem to be getting are broken things. So, but I don't want to gripe too much because we finally got the starter on. It is starting, but I've got to fix this brake thing, you know. Sean says, hammers remind me of child's play. You know, here's the thing. I wish I knew what part of child's play you were talking about, because I haven't seen child's play for decades. And even then, I'm not sure I even watched a whole movie before. How crazy is that I might not have ever watched the whole child's play movie? Did Chucky use a hammer in it? I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah, so it's great. The starter's on there. The van starts up right up just like that. That's great. But have this brake problem now. So yeah, it's rough. But I'll admit, I mean, it's life. Stuff breaks. You got to fix it. You got to replace it. I mean, that's what happens. And the more stuff you have, the more stuff that breaks eventually. And it just, man, yeah. Got to get these brakes. And this is the van, because the car still has that brake problem where the brakes almost go completely to the floor before it stops. And, or they're mushy, Let's see, Sean says, when Chucky picked the hammer up and threw it at the woman and she fell out of the window onto a van, dying on impact. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I didn't see that whole movie. All right. I did not see that whole movie. So I don't recall that. One of these days I'm going to have to sit back and watch Child's Play. Because, I never saw the whole movie. I've just seen bits and pieces of it. Now, looks like Jimmy was on here and is not on here anymore. Which kind of stinks, because the movie, I got a movie, I just watched a movie, which, Sean, I'd like to know if you watched this movie before also. I just watched it last night. I don't know how many years old it is. I don't know if it was 2015 or whatever. I'm just guessing. I don't know when it was made. But, okay, wait. Sean says, do not watch Seed of Chucky. Spare your sanity. Okay, well, I will steer clear of Seed of Chucky. I don't know how they came up with all these sequels to that movie. But then again, like I said, I never watched the whole original movie, so I've got no room to talk about it, I guess. But a movie I watched last night, I had a real stressful day yesterday. Really busy, packed with things I had to do. Had some things not go the way I wanted them to. Yeah, it was great that we got the starter on. Huge thanks goes out to my father-in-law, Carl, of course, for that. But there were some tough things that happened yesterday, too. So I sat back and started watching a movie, Ip Man. Ever hear of it? Ip Man, the movie. I have heard of Ip Man before, okay, because I've watched Bruce Lee movies. And I have read before that Ip Man had trained Bruce Lee in some kung fu, but I had never really known much about Ip Man. Okay, I knew he was some kind of kung fu instructor, and I saw the movie and thought maybe some kung fu would do me some good, relax, watch something with some action in it, hopefully. So I watched Ip Man. And I was Yeah, I have no idea how close to how accurate the movie is in the. Okay, Sean says no, I have not. Okay, you haven't seen it. I do not know how accurate the movie is as far as the real Ip Man and his life and what happened in it, but Ip Man was a well-to-do Chinese man living in, where was it, Hanshu province, China. I could be wrong here. But anyways, he was a wealthy guy. Uh, he and his wife and kid had a great crib. I mean, they lived in almost a palace. They had lots of money. And then the Japanese invaded China. Oh gosh, when was that? The 40s. And their city took a big dump when the Japanese invaded and occupied their city. Okay, they lost a lot of their population. So, people were tyrannized by the Japanese army, and Ip Man became penniless, like most of the people who lived in this city, and he was a kung fu badass. Okay, Sean says World War II, correct. But Ip Man was a kung fu badass, but was not a kung fu instructor. Okay, but people all the time would come up to him and practice little kung fu things and this and that, and he would help them, but he was not an instructor per se. But anyways, the Japanese occupy their city and everything turns to shit. Everybody's starving. There's no work. His home gets turned into some kind of Japanese army headquarters for that area. So the guy loses it all as far as money wise and belongings, and he ends up being challenged by a Japanese karate martial artist who's I don't know, I can't remember if he's a general or a colonel or something. Anyways, ends up challenging him. Let's see how your kung fu does against my karate and all this and that, and there ends up being a big showdown between these two guys. But there's a lot of action in the movie. A lot of action, a lot of butt kicking going on in the movie. And I don't know if you want me to spoil it or not for you. Maybe I shouldn't spoil the movie, but it ended up being a good movie. It ended up being a real good movie. I thought it was. Lots of fighting, lots of bone crunching kind of fighting. It was enjoyable. It starred Donnie Yen, okay, who I'm familiar with some of his work because he was in a lot of the older kung fu movies as obviously a much younger man. But still, I don't know how old he is now or was when he made the movie, but he was quite a bit older than some of the movies I'm used to seeing him in. But he was still butt kicking pretty good. The choreography was good. It's funny because the fight choreography is so different than a lot of the older kung fu movies where you would, there'd be a camera shot where you could see, okay, this guy fighting this guy, or maybe fighting two people. There was a wide camera shot where you could watch all the action happening, and it would stay the same camera shot for quite a bit while they're fighting and going back and forth with their kung fu. Whereas this was, I don't know if all the new kung fu movies have kind of gone this route or not, but this is, there are a lot of close-ups and stuff of quick action going on, and I don't know if that's a Hollywood influence or if that's what's happened over time with all of the action movies. Sean says, what did you watch it on? Pardon me, clear my throat. I've been having to do that a lot lately. Watched it on Netflix. Yeah, Ip Man. IP. Doesn't everybody? No, but it's spelled IP, and then space, and then man, just like man, M-A-N. But I enjoyed the movie thoroughly. I would turn around and watch it again. I would, and I guess there were sequels made. Now, I don't know if Netflix, it's funny because all I typed in for the search was Kung Fu, okay, into the Netflix search. And it brought up a whole bunch of stuff, hell, Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu, Mr. Magoo Kung Fu, yeah, and all kinds of silly things too, but it did pull up some good old, this wasn't that old, some Chinese Kung Fu movies too, and Ip Man was one of those movies. So I ended up watching it, and like I said, it was I enjoyed it. I thought it was a real good movie. Sean says, Child's Play is on Amazon Prime, at least the original one is. Okay, well, see, I have to check that out. And there is a movie I have to watch tonight, because if everything works out the way it's supposed to, my cousin should be, knock on wood, should be on the show tomorrow. And she suggested a film, said, Paul, you gotta watch this movie. It's a horror film and this and that. Watch this movie. I watched it. It was really good. And so I'm going to have to watch this movie so we can talk about it. So I have to watch that one tonight. Maybe I can fit Child's Play in there, squeeze that in there too. Yeah. Child's Play, Amazon Prime, the original Child's Play, huh? Okay. Maybe I'll finally watch it and see what the hubbub is all about. Because, and over the years, I've done my snickering and stuff over Chucky. But here, alas, I've never actually seen it. Sean says, Bruce Lee died young. He was only in his 30s. Yeah. Very weird. Very weird that, maybe not mysterious. But, no, you know what? There is a sense of mysterious in Bruce Lee's death. And that is because, just look at the guy. Look at the physical specimen he was, and what he was capable of doing physically with martial arts and kung fu, and then he just dies, of natural causes. That's what adds this mystique or weirdness to his whole death. If Bruce Lee would have been 400 pounds, chain smoker, and a booze head, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But Bruce Lee was quite the physical specimen. So him dying, without it being some kind of major tragic accident, made it even weirder. Now, I believe, I can't remember if I thought he took some kind of medicine or something. I don't know if he took something for a headache or whatever. I'm not a Bruce Lee historian, I thought he took something for a headache or some sort of ailment and then passed away shortly thereafter. I can't remember. But yeah, I'll tell you, that was pretty messed up. I mean, a guy who you look at and think, man, this guy's probably going to live to be 110, with the way he keeps fit and how physically active he is, and he died so young. I don't think I was even born when he died, but I mean, I imagine, people were just like, oh my gosh, what the hell happened? How could this happen? But, it did. It's pretty weird though, isn't it? What have I got behind me? I keep seeing this. It looks like a stack of little saucers or dishes or something. This actually, I just kept seeing it out of the corner of my eye there. It's actually wallpaper that I've been putting up in the room behind me, which it's funny we're talking about. Let's see, Sean says, I think he died of a swollen brain. Yeah, that does sound about right. I don't know what the hell caused it, but yeah, it's a shame. It was, who knows what he would have went on to do. I think, I think if he had, if that hadn't happened, I think he would have eventually moved on to doing some directing. I think he would have stepped up and done some directed movies also. I think he would have ended up becoming an action movie director, doing some big pictures. That's what I think. Sean says, what year were you born? Because he died in 73. I was born in 75. Yeah, I thought he died around 73, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, so I wasn't even around then. But I'll tell you, even though I was born after Bruce Lee's death, his name was still on a lot of people's lips when I was a kid. Bruce Lee was still big, even though he had passed away. And I grew up, I still watch Bruce Lee movies as a kid. So, there was a television show called, I think it was Kung Fu Theater is what it was called. That was on TV. I don't remember what channel it was or whatever, but that's what it was. They'd have different Kung Fu movies on when Kung Fu Theater came out. So, let me straighten up this camera just a wee bit there. So I grew up watching Kung Fu movies on television because there was Kung Fu Theater. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Yeah, Bruce Lee was big. He was, I definitely thought he was awesome when I was a kid. Him and, oh my gosh, there were so many good Kung Fu movies I've seen on Kung Fu Theater. It's not even funny. But you, Sean, are you you watch Kung Fu movies at all? Oh my goodness. My coffee is cold. No smokes, no vapor, and my coffee's cold. It's terrible. What am I to do with myself? Yeah, tell you that now. Oh, I think I started talking about this and didn't finish up. That Ip Man, when I looked up Kung Fu, it brought up Ip Man, and I saw Ip Man 3. Okay. But I didn't notice an Ip Man 2 on Netflix. So, I don't know if, I mean, surely to goodness there would be an Ip Man 2 movie, right? I mean, if there's a first one and a third one, you know. But I didn't see it. I didn't search for that specifically on Netflix, so maybe it is on there. As Sean said, Enter the Dragon was awesome. Yes, that was definitely, a lot of Bruce Lee, a lot of Bruce fans, that was like his best movie. Not everybody, but a lot of Bruce Lee fans find that to be his best one, which it was a good movie. The fight scene with, oh my gosh, I can't even remember dude's name. Khan, is that what the bad guy's name was, with the fake hand, and he put the claw hand on, and they got in a fight with in the House of Mirrors scene. You know, that was, boy, talk about a scene you never forget from a movie. That was it. And I think his name was Khan. Watch me get it wrong. It sounds like I'm talking about Star Trek. I'm trying to think of what the heck his name was. But speaking of Enter the Dragon, there was a comedy movie put out in the 70s called Kentucky Fried Movie. And which most of the movie was a whole bunch of little skits, one after the other. But there was a long segment, a miniature parody movie that was a parody of Enter the Dragon, okay, in the Kentucky Fried Movie, and it was called A Fistful of Yen. Okay, so if you like Enter the Dragon, you need to watch Kentucky Fried Movie at least to see A Fistful of Yen. Okay, it's a nice, it's funny parody of Enter the Dragon. Sean says his son died at only 28. Yeah, that's awful. Which, when that happened, of course, people started talking about curses and things like that. And I don't know about curses. I just know it's tragic. You know, it's sad because, I don't know. Really, it's sad. You know, people dying like that young, and it's always horrible. And then The Crow ended up being, a major cult classic. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of diehard Crow fans out there. Or diehard The Crow fans, I guess you'd say. But, yeah, terrible stuff. But, and then I think Bruce Lee had a daughter. I think she's still alive as far as I know. But I don't know what she does for a living. But, yeah, Brandon Lee. Now, there was, shit, I'm trying to think. I saw another movie with him in it that was pretty awful, though. He was in some low budgeters that weren't too hot. Was he in the movie Showdown in Little Tokyo? I don't know. He was in a movie with Dolph Lundgren. Let's see. Sean says the ironic thing is that Bruce was in a movie where a prop gun killed someone, and it's exactly how his son died. Oh, I didn't know that. Really? So Bruce Lee was in a movie where somebody was killed by a prop gun, and then his son obviously was in a movie where, he ended up being killed by a prop gun. That is odd. That is strange. Yeah. Terrible stuff. Yeah, who knows what old Brandon would have been going on to after that movie, because it ended up being, becoming pretty popular. I mean, he might have had some really good, might have been offered, you know, he might have had some really good gigs after that movie. You know, had he been alive, of course. Sean says, I believe it was actually Bruce's character that was killed. Okay. So, Sean, you're saying that like a stunt double or something maybe was killed? Like a stunt double for Bruce Lee was killed by a prop gun? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I'm completely unfamiliar with the story. Never heard about that. Yeah. But oh my gosh, yeah, it's terrible. It stinks about Bruce Lee, but you know, then then we got other Chinese superstars like Jackie Chan, which it took a long time for Jackie Chan to become you know, a household name in America. It took a long time. I was a big Jackie Chan fan for quite a few years before the average American knew who Jackie Chan was. Let's see. Sean says, no, in the movie, Bruce's character died in the film. Okay. All right. I wonder what movie that was. I don't know. But yeah, I was a big Jackie Chan fan for quite a few years before he finally became big in America. And so when, you know, he made some attempts to bust into the American, you know, to reach the American audiences, and then it seemed like he just chilled for a while, said heck with them, and then came back again, and finally Jackie Chan finally caught on with the American people, and of course made lots of movies, lots of American movies now, so, which I'm glad about that. I still like his Chinese made movies better though, but I remember when Rumble in the Bronx first came out, I made sure I was at the theater to watch that movie. So that was a big deal for me when Rumble in the Bronx came out, you know, because that was the first Jackie Chan movie that I ever had the option to see in the theater after I became a Jackie Chan fan. So Rumble in the Bronx was a big deal to me. So I made sure I watched that baby out in the theaters. So that was good stuff. But yeah, Jackie Chan's had a hell of a career. Once he finally caught on in America, then, you know, he had a hell of a career before America. Let's get that straight, though. I mean, he was a superstar before he became an American superstar. You know, around the world, Jackie Chan was known. It's just a lot of Americans didn't know much about him. Okay, Sean says, it says the movie was called Game of Death. Okay. I know the movie you're talking about. I know the movie you were talking about right there. However, I'm not sure if that was the one where they had a Bruce stand-in. They actually, one of those movies, they had a Bruce stand-in. Okay, because Bruce had died. Bruce Lee died, and they used somebody to double for him, like in shots from behind and stuff. I can't remember if it was Game of Death or not. Let's see, Sean says it was his last movie. Okay, so that's probably the one where they had a guy standing in for him. Kind of weird, but, you know, they wouldn't make money. Sean says, yes, it's the one. Yeah, kind of weird thinking that somebody's standing in for him, but, you know, I think they did that with the Three Stooges. When Shemp died, they had these guys standing in for him. Okay, Sean said they also use scenes from his earlier films. Okay, all right. Let's see, what's up, Ryan? Right now we're talking about Bruce Lee movies. So, if that's of any interest to you, yeah, it Game of Death. What I need to do is I need to go out. They had a DVD collection of Bruce Lee movies, and right now I don't have all Bruce Lee's movies. I used to have them on tape, on VHS. You remember VHS tape. Used to have them all on tape, but alas, I do not have them anymore. In fact, I haven't watched anything on VHS for probably 3 years or more. It's been a long time since VHS, so I have VHS tape still, but I don't have a VCR hooked up anywhere. So, but it would be nice if I got the remaining Bruce Lee movies out there. But yeah, Jackie Chan. I mean, he's man. I can't remember how old Jackie Chan is. He's getting old now. He's still doing movies, albeit he's definitely not as physically active in his movies. If you paid any attention, he's trying to do a little bit more drama and stuff as opposed to jumping off of ladders and buildings and things like that, but he's still doing movies, which is cool. I mean, but the man's broken darn near every bone in his body at least once, so he's probably got arthritis all throughout his body, I don't know how the hell he does it, and I've lost track of, I haven't been keeping up with his career either. I just know when I turn on Netflix, I'm always seeing a different Jackie Chan movie that I haven't heard of. So, Sean says, understandable as he is in his 50s, 60s. Yeah, somewhere in there. I'm not sure. Like I said, I am a Jackie Chan fan, but I quit really following his career. But that man's he's made some movies. He's had some success, although it took him a long time to have that American success. But he's got it now. I'm trying to think of what the heck I just seen on Netflix. I didn't watch it. Robin B. Hood or something like that. Is that with Jackie Chan? I haven't watched it. There's quite a few of his movies I have not seen at this point, and quite a few of his newer movies. And when I say newer movies, I'm talking 2000 to 2018. All right, now that might not, to you younger folks, that might not seem very new. You're like, well, hell, Paul, that's 18 years. Well, to me, that's new-ish for Jackie Chan, anyways, because I've spent a lot of time watching it. Hell, I've watched his movies from the 70s and 80s. So, once you get to 2000, then it starts seeming new to me. So, I've watched a lot of his stuff. But I have not watched a lot of his stuff. There's quite a few movies within the last 6 years, I guess, that I haven't seen very many of. So, might be missing out on some good movies. I don't know. Heck yeah. My favorite Jackie Chan movie to this day is Police Story. And I think he made like a more modern one, but he made one in the 80s. I'm not sure what the hell year it was. I don't know if it was 83, 85. I don't know. But Police Story is a Chinese-made film. That is my favorite Jackie Chan movie. Okay, usually I have a hard time coming up with a favorite for, people say, well, what's your favorite Vincent Price movie? What's your favorite this and that movie? I usually have a hard time coming up with that. Okay, Sean says Rush Hour. Is that your favorite Jackie Chan movie? Rush Hour? I know Rush Hour was one of grabbed a lot of Americans' attentions. I know that is one of the big movies that helped establish Jackie in America too. Also was Rush Hour. But Police Story I thought was, from the Jackie Chan movies I've seen, that still to this day is my favorite one that I've seen. So there was kung fu in it. There was quite a bit of kung fu. There was a lot of gunplay in the movie. There was a lot of stunts, a lot of action, car chases, explosions. Let's see, high jumps. On Jackie's part. Lots of explosions. And there's fighting towards the end of the movie in a mall where it is just glass getting busted everywhere, all over the place. This fighting in a mall, there's just so much glass shattering, it's not even funny. And I got this fly bothering me. Damn fly. But Police Story, yeah. If you like Jackie Chan, that is definitely, you want to watch that movie. It's, I don't know how hard it is to get a hold of on DVD or not. But I'm sure it's out there. But the movie starts off with a bang. Hell yeah, that movie, that's, now that I think about it, that movie started out exciting. This great car chase down a hill. Sean says, I take it you don't like flies. Not particularly. I'm not a big fly guy. I like to think of myself as being pretty fly, though. But anyway, I don't like them bothering me. They're bugging me. But Police Story starts out with this awesome car chase down the side of damn mountain, almost a huge hill, where there's this big shanty town on the hillside, okay, and these cars are chasing one another and go right through this shanty town. The cars are driving right through the shanty town, and there's stuff exploding because these people who live in this shanty town use propane tanks for their heating and their cooking and stuff. And these things are exploding left and right as all these cars are plowing down through the hillside. What's up, Ange? There's explosions. The cars are going through these shacks and emerging out one side, and shit's just exploding, and that's how the movie starts out, okay? Jackie Chan's a cop in it, and right off the bat, you got a feeling for, oh my gosh, this is one bad movie. And it is. It's a really good movie, Police Story. You gotta watch that stuff. Ange, what's happening with you? My sister Ange is is watching for once here. Oh, she gives me a thumbs up. Are you on break, or are you working, or at home? You know what, guys? I'm gonna have to get some more coffee. This coffee tastes like crap. It's cold. I don't know. It's not good. Not good coffee. It's cold and yucky, and I need fresh coffee. I already don't have smokes. I don't have my vapor. Don't know where the heck that is. So I gotta have something good, Let's see. Some coffee here. And some creamer. And maybe a little more creamer. What the hell? I'm busy trying to do this. Yeah, that's it, Paul. Pour yourself about a quarter cup of coffee because you're being Mr. Cool holding the damn camera to show it. Yeah, that's real smart there, buddy. There we go. Now I got some coffee. Gotta have some kind of luxury right now. Alright, let's see. Ange says she's getting ready for the gym. Oh, Ange's just getting ready to kick some ass. Getting ready to go. There we go. Go to the gym, huh? Well, we've been talking about at least physically active people here. What's up, Jeff? Salute. We've been talking about physically active people. Not me or anything like that, but we've been talking about kung fu movies and stuff today, it seems. So, let's see. I'm going to send my sister an invite. We'll see if picks up that invite or not. We'll see if she grabs onto that or not. I'm sending you an invite to hop on camera. I don't know if you know how to do that or whatever. Yeah, now you can, you may decline it. Oh, she declined it. Okay. I don't know. Maybe her hair's not done up right now. I don't know. But I don't know if she's even still watching. What happened to her? Oh, no. Well, I sent her an invite to hop on camera, but I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, Ange says, passed my live exam yesterday. All right, good for you, Ange. Are you still on there, though? I don't see her little icon on there. Well, that's great. Now, my sister has been going to school. Oh, my gosh, goodness gracious. She's been going to college for everythingology. The woman will not stop. She can't be stopped. She's like the Ghetto Boys. We can't be stopped. That's my sister. She has been working and going to college. And said the hell I did? Question mark? Okay, hold on here. Let's see. Approve. Add. I'm trying to add my sister right now. We'll see if that works. And just trying to figure out what the hell she did. I pushed add. We'll see if that ends up bringing you on or not. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's not the most intuitive thing. Trying to get somebody else.
Whoa.
Okay. No. Okay. Now what's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just said how you have been going to college for everythingology.
Oh, yes. I figure, in another 10 or 20 years, I'll go back and get my PhD. Since it's about every 10 years, I go back and get some more schooling.
Well, Sean Stout says hi, Ange.
Hi, Sean. What's up, man?
We've been talking now. You have been, whether you'd liked it or not, you have been exposed to kung fu movies.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhat. No. We were talking about Bruce Lee and, of course, his untimely death, which, of course, led to talking about Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee, yeah.
Now, you were a big... What's that?
All of us ladies think is gorgeous, yeah.
I was waiting for that. You were a Brandon fan, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's a shame.
What's that?
It's a shame. But didn't he pass away on the set or something?
Yeah, he ended up getting shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was an actual bullet in the cartridge or if it was wadding or something in there came out and killed him.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. But Ange, did you see Jackie Chan's Police Story movie?
Uh, no, I didn't. Gosh,
Okay.
I haven't seen, I remember seeing the, it's not Jackie Chan, but like The Killer and Hard Boiled and that.
Okay. Chow Yun Fat, yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
was it Enter the Dragon or something? I don't know which one that was, but
Yeah, yeah. We had just talked about that one with the big fight with the mirrors and stuff.
yeah.
And dude had the metal claw. So, yeah, this is very rare that you're actually on. Well, hell, this is the first. What am I talking about? Uh, so what do you do at the gym, Ange? What kind of workout routine you got going on?
Usually I just lift. Sometimes I go around the path. I don't do jogging though. I,
Oh,
walk kind of fast, but usually I just lift weights and I go around the whole kind of like the circuit and do a
oh,
little of everything. Arms, legs, chest. Not enough core, but I should do more.
yeah. The core seems to be one that I don't know. I don't know. That don't they work on them with them big ball things or something? Don't people do a lot of that shit?
Yep, you can do that. I get on the machine where you kind of put your arms in it and your legs and then you crunch forward. Do
Yeah.
that. I try to do it one of my first machines because I hate it and I won't want to do it by the end. That's for sure.
Oh, that's probably a good idea to do it first, as
Yep.
instead of dreading it the whole time. I remember when I'd go to the gym, there was a curling machine, for doing arm curls. I hated that thing.
Yeah. I hate that too, and because my arms are short, you know, well, I mean, I have long arms for me, but I'm a girl, so my
Yeah,
arms don't fit in there right. So they got
yeah.
a rowing machine,
A what?
a rowing machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're pushing with your legs and pulling with your arms at the same time.
Is that like? I mean, is it like one of the old-fashioned looking ones with the wooden ones?
No, it's metal.
Okay.
Metal. And you grab on. I don't even know where my arm is and pull.
Uh-huh.
And while you're pushing with your legs at the same time. And
Oh
so then you
God.
slide back and then you start again.
I've never done one of them jobs. Never done one of those. What's that? You hate it?
Oh, yeah. And they got a Jacob's ladder where you grab onto the bars and pull down while you're like climbing. You climb, and I have no
Mm-hmm.
sense of, I'm so doppy and then I almost fall off and stuff. But that one's really good for getting all your muscles worked on.
Really? So I've never seen one of these. You use your hands or
Yep,
you use your,
both. And you're climbing a ladder. Only the ladder
oh,
just keeps going. Just keeps coming at you and you keep climbing. Unless you fall off, which is I can't.
yeah. So you climb and never get anywhere, kind of like a treadmill.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
And is it a machine? Is it like motorized?
No, it just moves off your as fast as
Forever.
you're going.
Okay.
hmm I would imagine they might have some that are motorized, but
Oh wow.
I would think
I
that
could
I'm too
I would
toppy.
think that's dangerous if it was
Yeah.
motorized. Get your hand and shit dragged under, and
Right, right.
if you got big feet like me, get your toes caught under there and get them ripped off.
It wouldn't be the first time probably for you.
No, no, I've definitely had lots of toe injuries for sure. Oh my gosh. Now over at the Y, when I used to go there, they had a pull-up machine, you know, and that it was kind of a cheater thing because you could set it to where, let's say let's say you weigh, I'm not going to guess your weight or anything like that, but let's say a person weighs 200 pounds. You could put 200 pounds on the thing or whatever, and it felt like you were lifting nothing, right?
Right, right.
And then you could, I don't know if you added or subtracted, whatever way, you could make it to where you're pulling more of your own body weight, you know.
Oh, okay.
So it was like you could set it to where it assisted you to where you weren't pulling your whole body weight when you're doing pull-ups, you know.
Yeah.
But
I've seen people do that too at the gym I go to. I don't know. I think I
yeah,
would fall off that thing too.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. I just, I just made sure that I wasn't literally pulling my own weight, all the way because I wasn't ready for that stuff.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I mean, at my weight now, I'm 280. What the hell am I now? 282 or something, but my arms are still made for a 220-pound guy. They're not made for pulling, you know,
Mm.
282 pounds, or yeah, too damn much is how much I weigh.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the older you get, the quicker the muscle goes away when you don't use it. So,
Yeah, that's depressing.
yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, shit. So now, is this a daily thing? You do this every day or what?
Oh boy, I wouldn't when I wasn't in school I did, but now no. Usually I'll get in maybe 3 days a week when I'm off school. Like right now, I just finished my test. I had a test today, and I had a test yesterday, so I'm gonna go to the gym and get in a workout. So
It, is the workout, yeah, it's physically, yeah, you're throwing yourself in there, but is that kind of an escape too? Kind of
well,
relaxing in a way?
it depends. Like before my exams, I usually listen to my lessons in my head or in my
Oh,
headphones in my
oh,
head too. But I'll listen to my lessons, and so I'm trying to memorize stuff while I'm working out.
oh my,
Yesterday, though, yeah, yesterday I took a break and I listened to music while I was working out, and it was wonderful. I had to take a break. I was ready to lose my marbles. So,
yeah, Vinny, Vinny's at the point where he needs to take breaks from learning,
mm-hmm.
he's getting to the point where, yesterday he said his head felt like it was going to explode, but Vinny, his free time, he spends watching shit on YouTube that is about calculus and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you need to take a real break from this, And so he's like, well, then I catch him watching shows on these quiz kids getting quizzed on stuff, all this nerd stuff, And I'm like, dude, need to just totally, not anything school related. He already does too much of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of friends right now who are in the nurse practitioner programs too, and they're talking about because I went to a meeting for Liam the other day. He's in pharmacy class at Washington High School,
Uh-huh.
and they were telling us what outfit he needed to wear to go to these competitions. And I wrote down on the paper uh, black pants or whatever, and the lady specifically said black shoes. And Sean looked over and said, "Well, why did you write that?" So I crossed it off and I wrote black pants again. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I don't know. You do it, you know. And I'm like, slammed it at him. And I wanted to stomp out and just start screaming about how I hated everyone in my life.
Oh gosh.
But I didn't. But that's all because of jamming. You're jamming all this information in your head, and then it's coming out the other side and falling out, and you're not remembering it. So anytime you're adding new information, it's just not even computing. And so we were joking, and like the girls that are in programs right now were talking about how they were yelling at their kids to brush their shoes. Brush your shoes! It's time for bed. You gotta start listening to me. And the kids are looking at them like, what the heck? And she's like, I told you to brush your shoes. And she's like, what does that mean, Mom? And I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one that's losing my mind. But so you gotta have time to take a break and just do something, veg out or whatever.
Yeah, that's funny because, yeah, another thing Benny said yesterday when he was talking about his head wanting to explode was he said he felt like screaming at everybody.
Yeah.
So sounds kind of like the same symptoms of this
Yeah.
madness you speak of.
Yeah. One of my old psych instructors used to say it's like, you get a bowl full of marbles, and at any given time you should have maybe half of it's full of marbles, and but then the more stuff you're piling on top, the more marbles are just filling up, and then at some point when you got too many, they're going to start just falling off the other end. You can't get more in there. They're just falling out everywhere. And
Yeah.
that's what she used about, losing your marbles. She said that's the truth. What you need to wait until you can absorb more information.
Yeah.
And not lose your marbles.
And I don't know if what you're studying is anything like I don't know, but what was I going to say? It seems also to help absorb stuff, application of what you're trying to learn seems to be the only way you seem to really retain it. Now, that's whether you're working out scenarios with your new information on paper or you're talking about it aloud, kind of like learning new words, for your vocabulary. You want to work on your vocabulary, you learn new words, you have to use them for them to become part of you, or else you can learn what 20 new words mean, but if you don't use them, that stuff's gone.
Right. Yeah. And that, for me, that's what a lot of it is for this program, because I'm going for my psych nurse practitioner, but you have to learn like primary care as well. So this is me assessing eyes and ears and starting people on thyroid medications and birth control pills and stuff that I will never do. So it's just rot memorization, and then throwing it out there for the test, and then hoping to God I can retain it for the final.
Gee. So. Wow.
Yep.
Donna Lewis. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Donna.
Yeah, she says, nice to see Angie.
Yeah. I don't get out much. Of course, I'm not out right now.
Yeah. Well, part of that's my fault, I guess, at this point.
What?
But
Oh,
detaining you.
that's all right. I got laundry in the wash, so I feel like I'm working, right?
Yeah. There you go. Well, our washer, we've done the laundromat thing a couple times. Well, we didn't do the laundromat thing the other day, and oh heck, I'll go ahead and say it. Anyways, Teresa resorted to doing the laundry in the bathtub
Oh, Lord, yeah. Yeah.
and stomping on the dishes. Yeah, yeah, stomping on the dishes. Yeah,
My
stomping on
language.
the stomping on the laundry in the tub. Yeah, and I was like, like she was crushing grapes or something.
Making wine. Yeah.
Yeah. And she believes she broke her toe doing it, one of her toes. Yeah,
Yeah. Just tape that baby up.
yeah.
She probably
So
did.
probably,
Yeah.
but there's nothing you do for them. Yeah, it's like you said, you just taped it up, and
Oh,
but
man.
well, we're possibly the neighbor has a washer and dryer that are for sale, so we might buy those
All
next
right.
week.
That's
So,
cool. Somebody at my work, I tried to get that one washer, but she already had sold it.
mm,
Somebody advertised last week $350 for a washer and dryer, but
yeah,
I don't know how much
that's a
you
little
get.
more than I got.
Yeah. I don't they said it wasn't very old, but they're moving to an apartment or something and need it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this washer we're getting is not going to be large, but it looks like a decent washer. But it's gonna take a lot of loads to get. We just got so many people.
yeah. Well, you know I have been known to wash my laundry at hotels before.
Oh, really?
Dave came in one time. I can't remember where we were at. He was like, why are there socks and stuff drying over there on the air conditioner?" And I'm like, "Well, what happens if the flight's delayed and I'm stuck here another day? I want clean socks." He's like, "Oh
Wait,
my."
wait. How did you do your clothes at a
I
hotel?
just wash them in the sink.
Oh,
Wash them in the sink. He's like, "Why didn't you bring enough?" I'm like, "I did bring enough, but you never know. You might need them." And I'm just gonna hang them up here and let them dry. He's, oh yeah, crazy. Cheap
well,
too.
that makes me think the one time I, found myself living in a hotel for, I don't know, a week or so, and I took a cardboard box and made myself a refrigerator out of the air conditioner unit.
What?
Yeah, yeah, it was a big air conditioner that, was halfway in and out the window, and it was pretty good sized, and I put a cardboard box around it to capture the cold air and stuck my milk and stuff on top of the air conditioner there. Yeah,
It probably
it
worked
worked.
pretty good.
Yeah, it worked. Worked all right. It kept, the milk from spoiling, but
Were you in a hotel in Canton?
yeah, well, Perry Heights there.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that was, I can't remember what was going on. Obviously, my life was a little bit rough at that time. I can't remember what exactly was going on, but is that hotel living, it's funny because usually people who are down and out are doing it, but it ain't cheap.
No, no. And usually there's some lice that comes with it as well.
Yeah, yeah. Creepy crawlies, but
Maybe that's more the Canton ones.
yeah. Well, I lucked out there. I didn't have any problems with that, but yeah, it's you know, people get desperate. You're in a desperate situation. You can pay that, you know, money down there. There's no credit check, no anything. And then, you know, but it's not cheap.
No.
Oh, man. I don't, I actually prefer not to think too much of those days. I don't reflect on that very often. So,
Yeah. Well, you got a roof over your head now.
right, right. And that's the important thing. And, you know, we got the van running. Yeah, I don't know if you knew the starter was out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like rusted to the bolts or something. You couldn't get it out.
right, right. Finally got that out, got the new one on, got it started. But alas, there was a problem when getting the van set up to work on it. I used the emergency brake, you know, for safety. And when I pushed that down, the cable snapped. The
Oh.
emergency brake cable snapped. So now the emergency brakes are locked in place. So,
Oh my gosh.
so finally got it running again, and then these brakes are locked in place. So it's like one step forward and another one back, and
Yeah. And the other car's master cylinder shot probably, or yeah.
or it. Well, from what I'm being told from a couple sources, is it's the ABS system. So that
Well,
it's just plain old not doing anything, not malfunctioning, but not doing anything. You know, that's why it's not doing it's not doing
yeah.
nothing.
Well, the ABS system, never mind. I'm not going to say it on the air because if you crash, and of course you're driving it without, you don't want
Yeah,
to, you don't want to drive it without the ABS, but Sean has for years.
yeah. I asked Don about that. You know, if it could be bypassed, and I don't know. He said with the way this one's set up, it'd be hard to do. I don't know. Well, I think maybe he was trying to, you know, I don't know, maybe he's thinking safety, but he knows I'm driving it.
Yeah, I would think. Well, I mean, Sean knows how to bypass on his.
Hmm.
His is the Jeep. So,
Yeah.
what's this
Mine is.
melon head thing? What?
Oh yeah, Sean said still want to find those melon heads. The melon heads are there's a legend about these melon head feral children with heads shaped like melons. Um, which is lore, you know, the legends have it. Most of these legends are from around northern Ohio and I think Michigan, and um, but these melon head kids are feral kids with heads shaped like melons that uh, you know, I don't can't remember if they're cannibals or not. Sean, you want to fill us in on that? And I can't remember if the story was that they were taken in by a doctor and he did experiments on them, and then they ended up revolting against him and killing him and burning his house down and lab and stuff, but and running
Oh.
free. Yeah, Sean says they're cannibals.
When was this supposed to have taken place?
I don't know if this was the 1930s or whatever, but Sean and a buddy of his have invited me to go out melon head hunting. So,
Well, you know, we have had some relatives that, when they were smaller, seemed to have heads that were too big for their bodies. Maybe we're related.
yeah, maybe so. Oh no, maybe we are the melon heads.
Oh, jeez. Distant relations, man.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah.
don't know if
Well,
they ate other people, though.
what's that?
I don't know if they ate other people, though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, the melon heads. Oh my gosh. But yeah, these guys want to go on a monster hunt. And so I don't know. It'd be pretty fun, I think.
Oh yeah. We always talked about the Bigfoot hunts.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, Sean and his buddies have, they've done some paranormal investigations and stuff, and uh, some of these young guys are into urban exploration and stuff too, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Sean says, I think the Melonheads are good people, probably just need a hug, just like those zombies. Sean, Sean thinks everybody just needs a hug out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about one of the episodes we were talking about a zombie apocalypse, and Sean was talking about how zombies just need a hug, and then one of his buddies said, and then we'll end up having to, after Sean becomes a zombie, having to kill him.
Right, right. Well, at least these melon heads, it doesn't sound like that's contagious, if he
Right.
hugs them. Unless if they're cannibals, they might take a chunk out of him. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I never heard of them until a couple years ago. I read about them on I don't know if it was some kind of bizarre Ohio website or something like that I first heard of them, but that wasn't a legend I ever heard. Have you?
No, I never. No.
And talked to Teresa, because she's from up in Cleveland, and she never heard of it also. So I don't know, but supposedly it's I don't know, maybe it's from northwestern Ohio. Maybe it's popular there. Sean says, I'm also going to try to find the green lady.
Oh.
Now, that's the one Teresa told me about, the green lady, who's, I don't know if she goes out on Halloween and captures little kids or whatever.
Oh.
But
I thought maybe like the spirit of the forest or something, but
yeah, well, that's one that was, from the Cleveland area, or that's one Teresa grew up with, was the green lady. Oh my gosh, I'm zinging. Too much coffee, no food. Too much coffee, no food, and no nicotine. Ah.
well, you should quit smoking then.
Yeah, well, I probably should. But yeah, Sean says the story of the Melonheads are also told in Michigan and Connecticut, which, yeah, I think that's so weird because it's like, okay, Michigan and Ohio, that makes sense. They're connected, but then there's this big gap and then Connecticut. Maybe somebody moved out to Connecticut from Ohio and brought some Melonheads with them.
Like
I don't know.
Troop of melon heads.
Yeah, well, it was what just happened. It's funny because every now and then there will be a pause, like in your video, and this happens when somebody else is on here live, and then you'll just freeze and you're like frozen like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Melon head.
Oh man, well, I think I got to get off of here. I think it's about time for me to hop off the air, guys. And thanks for being on here, Ange.
Yeah. Talk at you later.
All right, you're going to have to hop on again, and we're going to have to talk about some serious stuff sometime.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sean says, have a good day, guys.
Bye.
See you, Sean. And anybody else who watched, thanks for watching. Ange, thanks for being on here. Oh, signed off. All right. Thanks. Anybody who watches this, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.